One of the best rivalries in North Carolina resumes tonight. 40th meeting between NC State and Duke here at ACCNX Stadium. The Blue Devils want to bounce back from a tough loss. NC State earning a draw on Thursday, which means these clubs are hungry and motivated. Wolfpack and Blue Devils right in the heart of ACC play. Through 2 weeks, couple of heavy hitters, Florida State and North Carolina. The key, getting the top 6 and earn that berth to the ACC tournament. Right now, though, Duke and NC State have some work to do as we gear up for this Sunday night matchup here in Durham. Welcome to ACCNX Stadium with Matt Stradley. I'm EvanBudrovich. Anytime NC State and Duke battle, it is a fun night. What should we expect from these two programs?
From Duke, they love to have the ball. And from State, they're cool with that. Let Duke have the ball. Just don't get into those dangerous areas. It's two teams that are going to be kind of tailor-made to go against each other.
And 2 years ago when these teams met, NC State pulled a little flair for the dramatic in overtime. How about Jamise Joseph with this game?
Oh, deep in the second overtime, onto the right foot, just a ruthless finish.
That was NC State's first win in nearly a decade at Duke, all because of Jamise Joseph there in extra time. Robbie Church's club got some revenge 1 year later in Raleigh, a 6-0 defeat at NC State.
That was State playing down a player for the majority of the game, but some brilliant finishes from Duke. You got to see Raider, a name familiar to us this year, on the score sheet as well.
Michelle Cooper part of the scoring party, and we resume this rivalry tonight. Both teams in need of a win. We'll see who comes out on top, but we return to Durham right after this. Gearing up for a magical night, 40th meeting, NC State and Duke. Perfect weather, great conditions, and a couple of changes in the lineups tonight for NC State. A red card accumulation has knocked out Hannah Jabril, so Alexis Strickland, one of the best scorers for NC State, will have to step up tonight.
She really will. She had 3 goals all of last season. Comes in with 3 goals already this season. So good on the ball.
And then for Duke, with 2 injuries on the defensive side, Minnie Milestrella gets her first career start. Big moment for the Redondo Beach, California team.
It really is. She's so good on the ball, and her vision with passing is one of the reasons why I think she got named into the starting lineup tonight.
So Duke having to shuffle up some lineup with 2 defenders out. Let's get this opening touch underway. So Mia, in her debut start, gets the opening touch of this great night. Couldn't ask for anything better. Robbie Church has dominated NC State in his tenure, but 1 loss in his career, and it came 2 years ago right here on this pitch. Let's see how it shakes out tonight. Daniel Shank Moreno, our lead ref, gets things started. And Duke back to work off a difficult loss in the final 10 minutes, surrendering 2 critical goals against Notre Dame. Robbie Church noted the unfortunate nature of those goals, but also to the lack of possession in the second half against Wake.
Now you see the back and forth passing seems like they're baiting State to break that well-formulated block.
Look at possession here for Woner, who takes advantage of the mistake. We mentioned in the open, NC State will live on not controlling possession. They had less than 40% of possession against Wake Forest on Thursday. But a very loose and relaxed bunch in pregame warm-ups today.
I think if State even has 35% of it, as long as it's a quality 35, they'll be happy. You've got Jamise Joseph, who's one of the best attacking players in the country. And anytime you can get the ball to her feet, it's a dangerous time.
Here is Jamise Joseph, her first touch. Sends one wide, and that misses her intended target. Duke on Thursday controlled every bit of possession against Notre Dame, but could not finish, just 1 goal. And that kept the Fighting Irish in it before pulling out a crazy finish, 2-1.
It was almost like Survivor for the defenders, one going out in the first half, one going out in the second half, and you have a completely different back 2, and it went to a back 3 due to the injuries. That was a fantastic adjustment on the fly from Duke to go from a 4-back to a 3-back.
That was Bailey Brewster and Emily Royson, who both went out. Now Duke with possession. Minestrella plays it wide. Grace Watkins. This ball in towards back post. And just wide for Devin Lynch, who made a nice run. And Robbie Church, who's always very candid and open with us, he noted that we have to be more clinical. We have to be able to finish. Clearly a successful head coach in 23 years. But how about this? In that 23 years, only 1 loss to NC State, and that was 2 years ago.
That's tough when you got one of your closest rivals and you've got that kind of a record against them. What else can you say? Although I bet he thinks about that double overtime game winner from Jamise Joseph often, and there's no way he's not going to let his team be up for tonight.
Duke gets possession back. Coach Church also noted the need to get points in the ACC. Losing a home match is very difficult to then host or be a top 6 seed. We saw the crazy ending between Florida State and Carolina today. The value of earning points. Every point matters, especially at home. There's Cameron Roller on the ball. Leah Freeman, who has 3 shutouts this year, was nearly intact for the shutout until a couple of ricochet, deflected, odd goals that weren't necessarily her fault.
It was bad luck, but it was also just the consistent and constant pressure from BC. It felt like they were coming, but they certainly didn't feel like they were coming the way they did.
Notre Dame managed double-digit shots in that second half, and that was something that Robbie Church had harped on. Minus the 2 defenders, of course, with Brewster out and Royson both getting injured. So Groff and Roller and Chico will anchor that back line with Piper.
It's going to be hands full for Ellie Piper today, wearing the number 8 shirt with Jamise Joseph. Her job is to stay in front, get in front, stay in front when Joseph kind of bleeds over to the right-hand side of Duke's defense. And when Joseph does get by, that help coming from the center. You got to watch out for Graham coming over from the central mid and trying to take the ball off the foot of one of the most talented players on the pitch.
Joseph 1v1 is difficult to stop. She is electric in her career.
Joseph 1v2 is pretty difficult to stop. I'd say 1v3, it's pretty tough to stop.
23 career goals for Jamise. She's right up top for Tim Santoro's club. Now Watkins plays it wide. Nice ball to Lynch. One-on-one with Kawaguchi. Lynch, a little heavy on that last touch, and a goal kick here for NC State. So NC State led by Tim Santoro, who's now at 84 wins at State. That's the 3rd most ever for a Wolfpack coach. He needs a couple more this year to move into number 2. And something to note, those 6 NCAA appearances, those are consecutively. This is a coach who knows how to win at the highest level.
And not just a quick stopover appearance, have a cup of coffee, and head out. He's made it to the Sweet 16 half of those times.
That was the challenge for Tim Santoro when we talked to him this week. The record looks dim, but there's certainly opportunities to get back in the ACC hunt and then earn a possible tournament resume.
And I think you are seeing progression. You're seeing advancement from NC State. And I think any coach will tell you that really what you want is you want them to be their best version of themselves, and State's moving towards that.
Great nugget there. Last win for the Wolfpack, August 20th. It's been a minute now. With the 4 draws and 5 losses. I think back to State's resume last year. They were right at 500 until the final week and got in. So this ball sent wide. Lynch looks for the connecting touch. A good clear out there by NC State's back line. You do see Leah Hall Robinson there asking her midfielder to shoot it forward, and that keeps it in for Duke. There's a chip in. Kawagishi, who did not see the defender behind her there. Karina Legary, who we'll touch on throughout this match, but she's been great at feeding players this year.
She's got such a great vision for the entire pitch. She has an innate understanding of where the defense is and where she wants them to be.
I'm told you have a telestrator coming up at halftime, so I'm looking forward to your artwork.
I can't wait. I've been studying for this ever since kindergarten.
Of drawing Legary, who's been feeding Kat Rader a lot this year. There's Watkins centering to Lynch. NC State committing everybody on the ball. That'll result in the Duke throw. This is the constant pressure. Robbie Church applauded his team in the first half against Notre Dame. Just not enough closing opportunities. Just 1 goal against the Fighting Irish.
And that was maybe the best 45 minutes I've seen out of Duke this season. They looked a genuine threat for a national championship.
Robbie noted 65% possession. They did everything right, just couldn't put the ball in the basket.
Well, it's a top 10 team that they were doing that to as well. So it didn't really feel scary to them in the first half. No real chance.
Kat Rader is dancing around this turf. Look at Rader sprint in, going on the left, and sending that one wide. That is the danger of Kat Rader. She can shoot from distance tonight.
And I think she has to take that shot. You need the defense to close out. You need that defense to step up so you have that room in behind. And if they don't think she's really going to shoot it from that distance, they're not going to close that space.
When you have the braids on the left and the ponytail on the right, you know this woman's all business tonight. One of the best scorers in the ACC. 16 career goals for Kat Rader. Duke put on a scoring display against the Wolfpack last year. 6-0 win. Rader was one of those goal scorers. We know that the Wolfpack had a red card early, down a woman for most of that match. Legary sends it out wide. Rader drawing some attention.
See him slowly starting to work the overload.
This is centered in, headed on target, and shots wide. Wow, Menestrella nearly put it in.
And to have this chance this early with this few touches, it's tough, but free header in front of the goal. Well, those chances don't come around often.
And important there, Nikki Chico came up from the back 4 and centered that ball in. That's Duke really committing the back 4 and turning it more into a back 2.
I wanted to get out of the way because I knew something was about to happen, but when I'm talking about an overload, it's where you get the left back, the right back, pushing forward into the offense, which can be dangerous against this State team. They're like a coiled spring. The more pressure you apply, the more dangerous they are.
Tim Santoro noted the value of the counterattack tonight. This Wolfpack team could put any pressure on Leah Freeman in this back line of Duke. Here's some of that pressure with Joseph. Now a streaking run, nearly a turnover. Wow, Cameron Rolla right at the edge with the pressure there from Fernando Soto. Freeman's boot is knocked down by Leah Hall Robinson.
If Duke can get on this, it's 3-on-3 to the back line, now 4-on-4.
Menestrella out wide to Rader. State crashing back. Menestrella rolls one wide. And clearly in the first 10 minutes, an attempt from the Blue Devils to shoot from distance.
And that's a part credit to the communication of State's back line. The back 4 have done a really great job of moving as a brigade. And when you're moving as a brigade, it's tougher to break that down. The inside runs just aren't breaking through yet.
That is headed out by Duke, so an NC State throw-in. It's a Wolfpack club that early in the year lost Jaden Thomas, a tremendous holding midfielder. And then recent starter Hannah Jabril, who plays more of an attacking midfield. She was out with a red card accumulation from Thursday night. Let's not forget the goalkeeper, Maria Echeserreta, in the Colorado match very early in the season, went out with an injury. So it's been all hands on deck for the Wolfpack. Good slide tackle there by Fernanda Soto.
It was physical but fair, wasn't it?
A little heavy on the touch there. You see Soto wanting to run in transition. She is a firecracker emotionally. Tim Santoro loves her demeanor. That's a little bit what NC State needs, some aggression, some physicality, and wanting to win the ball.
Look at the width that Duke is trying to hold. You've got pinned down to the far right, you've got Watkins, and on the very far left side, you've got Kat Rader just trying to push up against this back line.
Duke maintaining possession. Good through ball with a touch out by Chico. But State gets it right back. Joseph on the turn. Look at the attention Jamise Joseph draws. That's 4 defenders surrounding the first team All-ACC standout.
I'd have suggested one more just to be safe.
And that's the challenge with a team like NC State. Jamise Joseph is so good on the ball. Robbie Church noted we have to have an eye on her every time she touches or grabs possession.
That was a nice pass through the center of the pitch.
Good long ball here from Roller. Oh, Robinson able to win it. It's that second touch, though, for Duke that can be dangerous. Here with space. Chico to Rader. The Cat said, okay, Jamise, I can see you dribble through traffic. I'll do the same. For the sophomore standout for Duke. Piper. Oh, risky pass there. It's turned over. Holt results in it. Soto. Man, Joseph was ready to run wild there for NC State. Good play by Roller.
And Roller had to get it right, didn't she? She was basically through on goal was Joseph if she didn't.
Lynch on target. And keep in mind, Roller gets the spot start with the injuries to Brewster and Royson. So she's having to defend one of the veterans of the ACC. That's a big moment here for Cameron Roller.
And it's a position that she's been in a back four for not very much this season. She got some experience under her belt in the back three against Boston College.
And has also played for a U17 U.S. national team, so plays at the highest level as a teenager in high school. A little different stage here in the ACC, though. Some of the early RPI reports have just come out. Duke is 23rd in the first edition of the RPI. About a month in, you get a real feel for who's elite, who's got some work to do. Duke maintaining possession here 15 minutes in. A couple of shots, but none on target. Against Olivia Protopos, the goalkeeper for NC State. Here's a deflection. Now room to run for Woner. As Joseph has a streaking player in front. Oh, but she lost her offside. Joseph looks to play it through, and there's a misconnection. Nice run, though, there from Alexis Strickland.
And Strickland getting into a great space, and I'm not sure why the ball wasn't played through to her. It looked like she had some space behind.
Olu has it deflected. A rare possession. Kawagishi sends it wide. There's Soto. An immediate double. Fernanda, no chance, weaving it through. Nice job there by El Piper, who earns the foul.
Piper did the right thing, where if there wasn't a foul call, time to reorganize the defense. If there is a foul call, great, now we have possession again. We like that.
Piper, a talented sophomore, started 5 matches this year and has become an integral piece for Robbie Church. Robbie noted the depth in the preseason of his roster, the ability to rotate multiple players in. That'll be tested now with the injuries to Brewster and Royson. Not always the way you want to flex your depth, but it is a part of the equation here as we enter ACC play.
Of the 3 changes to the roster for Duke, 2 of them due to injury, and the other one, Migley, goes to the bench in favor of Minestrella, which was likely a tactical decision. Minestrella, fantastic freshman, top 5 recruit as far as forwards go in the country. She was an alternate on the under-20 women's national team.
She's had some chances already in this match. Good win on the ball by Lynch. Look at this passing. The back heel touch. Now NC State, they want to counter here, but that pass a bit strong. It is a challenge when you try to, as you said, spring forward and almost counterattack as a unit.
And that from Laguerre, I think it was out of necessity. She'd already laid her right foot onto the ground, and the pass had such heat behind it. And you got to get a piece of it. Try to flick it forward. It would have been an all-time pass if she had made it.
In FIFA, that works perfectly. You hit the B button and it just spins it back to your scorer and Raider. In life, a little more difficult.
Yeah, you don't even have to hold down the left bumper button anymore, do you?
Duke put on a video game-like display last year. 6-0 win over NC State. And so far, the Wolfpack comfortable sitting here defensively. One-on-one, Minestrella attracts numbers. Laguerre looks for a runner. Watkins centers. And a nice clearance there by Chisholm. That was a scintillating ball in the box.
It was brilliant one-touch passing to get to that point. Held up, look, there's the run. How does she see that run, first off? Unbelievable. And it was fantastic defending, just cutting right in front of Minestrella.
Chisholm's been a critical piece for NC State. They'll need her on that back line to clear some stuff out, because Duke has controlled every ounce of possession so far. Wolfpack at 0-1-1, just 1 point, which means any result tonight would be critical for their tournament chances, both NCAA and ACC. Duke here at 1-1. They want to keep up with Florida State and UNC. Well, you talk about a last-second thriller. That game-tying corner from Florida State was incredible.
Just have the presence and patience and awareness to know how much time you have left. And when there's no time left, to still believe and take a rip from just inside the 18. Why not do it?
That match was 1-1 with about 15 minutes remaining. It had a hectic 3-3 finish as Kat Rader gets possession. To Laguerre. She can shoot from there, instead looks to center. NC State committing 8 back. They're really pot committed outside the 18. Looking for a touch. Wolfpack come out with it. Here's Joseph. Weaving and zigging and zagging through this Duke defense.
Look at that acceleration. My goodness.
Joseph sends it wide. Soto looks to get back to her. Now on possession. Deflection. Olu. Nice touch. Here's Strickland. Top scorer for NC State with 3. Kawagishi attacking numbers. Oh, good ball. Strickland turns it. Wolfpack rip one. And it's a bit wide. Those are the type of balls that Annika Wohner and this Wolfpack team will need to capitalize on.
And it just kind of bungles up on her a bit. She maybe clips her heel on the ground before she makes the contact. Can't wrap her foot around the outside of the ball, get the bend that's necessary for that type of shot.
Wohner, a 3-year starter and an all-freshman team standout 2 years ago. So plenty of experience up top. Wohner and Strickland and Joseph, those are all 3-year starters for Tim Santoro, if not more. Olu steps in front. She's been a nice contributor here. And Leah Hall-Robinson wins it back. Kawagishi. So these last 5 minutes, NC State has asked a couple of questions here of Duke's defense.
And now you're seeing the back starting to come forward, trying to create some overload, some mismatches.
And now can Duke counter off those numbers? You see how quickly here all the numbers in red start sprinting back towards the midline.
Well, it's the best possible scenario where if you're going to turn it over, make it a dead ball turnover where it's a throw-in or it's a free kick, so you have time to get that organization back.
Here's Watkins, the Manhattan Beach, California product, sends it in. Minestrella, her nearby teammate, chips one forward. Ooh, Hall Robinson, that's a risky spot to do it. Now an inverted bicycle kick comes out. And here's Joseph. NC State walking the tightrope to get that ball free, and they'll give it right back.
Hey, Graham, just fantastic, just tracking the ball, tracking the run. Rather sneaky. Don't tell Warner I'm coming up from behind and want to steal it away.
Maggie, one of 5 returning starters for Duke. She can play in a lot of different roles. Here's Rader, who's been sitting comfortable in that left flank, waiting for a run. You see her crossing in now as this ball goes out wide. Chico is headed free. Piper back to Rader. Didn't see her option to the left. Wow, NC State keeping up step for step as this ball is beautifully played around until that mistouch.
Watkins, not the touch she wanted. She wanted to push it down the line, be able to run onto it, try to take advantage of that green grass in front.
Duke is really testing State horizontally on this field tonight, making them cover every patch. Ball a bit heavy there from Soto.
And that's by design. When you have a team that is as organized as NC State has been and packs down so well, then you have to get that loosened up. And there are 2 ways to do it. You can get them to chase you long ways, which State doesn't do, or you can get them stretched out wide, and that's what Duke's trying to pull off.
A Duke team that hardly loses at home, and they want to bounce back now from a Thursday defeat in the closing minutes to Notre Dame. Win puts Duke right back in the discussion in that 3rd and 4th position. It is early, but every point counts. There's a nice through ball, a bit strong there. And a goal kick for NC State.
But in a 4-3-3, that run from Piper, absolutely necessary. You need your 8 to make those inside runs, to try to pull a little bit of depth to the back line so that there is some space, so that your attackers can make runs, get chips in.
There have been 4 shots, and some to the edge of the corners of the box. Not exactly on target, but it's kept Protopis busy, the Louisville transfer. This one gets ricocheted out. Soto with space. Both these teams tournament performers from a year ago. NC State lost in the opening round to UCF in penalties, and Duke headed all the way to the round of 8 in a battle with Alabama to get to the College Cup. I've seen State handle pressure fairly well tonight. Not too many mishaps. Brooklyn Holt able to dribble through traffic and send it wide. Her sister Brianna, also a substitute on this team. Warner attracts 2 and plays it back to Olu, but that was in the wrong area. A rare mistake there for NC State. Wow, Soto came sprinting in.
It took a calm touch from Piper, didn't it? She could have made it, easily panicked and made a mistake. That's just a little bit of cool head on the ball.
And Robbie Church is noted for a defender how well Piper plays the ball, how she can work through danger, especially for a young player. Although top-rated recruiting classes are nothing new here at NC State. It's been the last decade of top 10 recruiting years. Here's one of the good ones as well. Cameron Roller, the freshman, steps into space. There's Rader. Whoa, Leah Hall Robinson closed quickly. And a little bit of contact. Referee will let him play. Strickland. Uh-oh. Wow, that was cleared out. Weber had to shoot one of the stars. Kawagishi slides in. And here's Duke on the counter. For the moment, at least. And it's NC State's turn. Back and forth with Joseph, 1v5. Joseph, she can shoot from here. Cuts back in. And that deflection is saved. Nice work by Freeman to avoid the corner.
Duke did a fantastic job of sprinting back. You could tell by the frantic nature of their sprinting that they fully respect Janice Joseph and her skills. It's a huge save from Freeman. You don't want to stay taking corners.
Janice Joseph is a special offensive talent, and Duke has centered her in. You just saw there 5 players, and she ran through one, juked past another, and created a shot on target.
When you said they had 4, I told you I would have suggested one more. That's what you see why. It's not hyperbole. She is phenomenal. She's an adventure waiting to happen with the ball at her feet.
And it's been a slow scoring year this year for Joseph. Just 2 goals. She'd love to kickstart that. Sending it out wide. A sprinting run from Soto. It's like the Kentucky Derby down the far flank. Through ball. Missed the target. And Duke wins the throw.
It's in those moments where State's going to find their joy. It's in those transition moments, and if they linger or ponder, those moments are going to disappear into the air like dust.
Substitutes for both. Jade Bordelot, an attacking forward, will come in for Woner. So her first minutes here late in the first half. And then for Duke, Julia Sanavecheva out of San Jose, California, will come in, a UCLA transfer. I'd expect on a somewhat warm night, high 70s, low 80s, a little humid. Could be a chance to substitute a few in here and there. We do not expect a hydration break, though, tonight. Temperatures are a bit chilled here in the fall. Happy first weekend of fall, my friend, by the way.
It's a fantastic time.
The leaves are just about to change colors. What a color rush here tonight. Duke blue, NC State red. 2 of the bitter rivals here in the triangle. Nice run for Sanasheva, who just came in. This ball's tipped. Laguerre wins possession. Lynch sends one right to the keeper. Early target for Protapas.
That's tough. The ball's under your body. You know you don't have a lot of time to take that shot. You generate what you can with your hips, and you try to whip your left leg through that ball. You have to take it, though.
You have to put some pressure on Protapas tonight. Great point. Shakira would agree with your assessment.
And what if lightning does strike and you do wrap your foot around it or you knuckle it?
I thought you were going to say if lightning strikes and Taylor Swift shows up to the soccer match.
Oh, she's busy in Kansas City.
Travis Kelce, the star of social media this week. Sanasheva, 1v1 with Holt. Brooklyn, nice job knocking that loose. Her father, Torrey, was in attendance on Thursday at Wake Forest. Of course, Torrey Holt, the NFL grade, NC State legend. His 2 daughters, a member of this soccer program, and they're putting on a show for Pops tonight. Duke has been very patient with possession. They'll work the ball, look to find opportunities. And State's comfortable living with 11 all the way back like this.
One thing they've done really good at, the Wolfpack, they've caped Laguerre for the most part with her back to the goal, and it's really tough to pass out of that position. You can't see what you want to do.
Sanasheva, the back heel. Oh, look at Lynch with the shot. And that'll earn a corner first for Duke tonight. That was a creative touch to get that play started.
That's what it's going to take against this disciplined State defense. It's going to take something a little creative, a little bit tricky, and we nearly saw that greatness there.
There's Devin Lynch, 5 assists this year. Plenty of blue in the box. Goes middle, headed away by NC State. Laguerre, deflected from distance. This one's centered in. And now Watkins can let it go out for a throw. Both teams wanting to substitute here. Now a referee will grant that wish. Phoebe Goldwaite comes in for Duke. She gives Lentz the breather. And there's Mary Frances Sims, who's played off the bench now in 9 matches, a true freshman out of Alabama. She'll give Olu the breather in the final 15 minutes.
Goldthwaite's got such a motor about him. Just always going. She'll drive this midfield for Duke if State doesn't take the keys out of her hand.
And Robbie Church was very high on Goldwaite in the preseason. Said she could be a starter at many schools in the ACC, where you have the luxury of bringing her off the bench in moments. Here's a good swinging ball in. Now Bagishi has to shoot and fire that one away. Goldwaite, the top 50 recruit in the country. That's not just talent, that's elite playing ability.
You didn't have to go far to find her, did you? Right here in Durham, North Carolina, her hometown. The soccer establishment of the Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill area.
Well, and the Goldwaite family is the soccer establishment of this conference. UVA and Wake Forest, a couple of her sisters that have played or are currently playing in the league. The all-family, first-team all-family conference.
First-team all-family.
I submitted my poll. I don't know why I got any votes yet, but looks like Duke will bring in one more. That's Kiati Drazina, the Notre Dame transfer, who's working her way back from an injury in the preseason, but has played in moments for Duke. This is her 7th appearance. Rader now from the right side. Legary turns, and a quick deflection out. That'll earn the corner as Weber had to spray it away.
Duke, when they're having their bit of possession and it's done right like it is right now, it feels like they're starting to turn the screws, and it's getting tighter and tighter around this NC State defense.
Second corner for Duke. This is Elle Piper. Piper goes deep, headed back into play, and the Wolfpack cleared out. Let's see if Duke can apply more pressure with Drazina. You see NC State almost forming a back 4 or 5 at times. They'll really commit numbers back to hold off Rader, who makes a run. Rader is tipped away by Weber. Holt's pass is kept in play. Weber is literally step for step with Kat Rader this entire half. Reigning ACC Freshman of the Year, who has marveled with already 5 goals. And Robbie Church has noted we need more balance in our scoring, not just Rader. Pass a bit off target there from Piper. Weber's forced to clear.
Good.
Joseph concedes the throw.
It's physicality from Roller to be right there against Joseph, who doesn't take the touch she wants because she feels that pressure. But you're seeing the way that Brianna Weber is following Rader around is almost exactly the same way that Roller is following Jamise Joseph around.
Here's a long ball in. Headed away by the Wolfpack. Laguerre gets it back. Plays it middle. Here's Goldwaite. Oh, out wide, but missed her target. Sanasheva wanted the run. Instead, it was played out of bounds.
Lock it in.
See the communication continuing for Duke, looking to get on the same page. Which I imagine when you slide back, Roller back to the defense, and you have to mix around a lineup with Chico, it does create some new communication patterns for Duke.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And you've got players that haven't been playing together for the majority of the pre-conference season. So you've got players that, I know where the person who was at their position would go, but we got somebody new in their position. Where do they want to go? And that's a little bit of indecision.
Uh-oh, nearly interception there from Sanasheva. Who's been like a hawk, just flying in on certain plays, looking to step in front. Here she is now, running the throw for Duke. That energy's been impactful off the bench.
You're starting to see Jamise Joseph pulled back. More of a midfield role. Perhaps that's intentional to save her legs a bit.
You see NC State in these last 9 minutes almost trying to hold off a Duke chance and keep this 0-0.
And there she's back at her more familiar position.
Piper in space. Sanasheva centers. Headed away by Hall Robinson. NC State looking to keep possession. That's been a trouble here. And a nice kick save out from Strickland. There's Jamise Joseph all by herself up top. Let's see if Lohner can find her. There's Joseph. Joseph gets space. Plays it in. And over target. Goal kick. A rare counter here for NC State.
Just couldn't wrap her foot around the outside of the ball. She's trying to pull that back to around the 6. There's a run being made by Kawagishi. Just can't get that drawback.
Here's JJ Endow out of Senegal coming in for Duke, the junior defender. She gives Watkins the breather. And then Soto will come out for NC State for the moment. Mia Vaughn, the left-footed sophomore midfielder, will come in. Francis Sims had possession for the moment and then lost it. Here's a long run for Duke, and Hall Robinson sniffs it out. Politely plays that aside.
It's a smart play from Hall Robinson. You can't afford to make a mistake in that area.
As Duke brings numbers forward here, final 8 minutes of this first half. The insertion of Endow has pushed Rader a little more inside as she comes back to the side of field for this throw. Rader centers. There's Piper with space and a diving save. Protopis with her first chance.
What a fantastic strike from Piper. Slides her foot right around the outside of the ball, gets it to knuckle away. Boy, that's from distance.
That would have scored it too.
Oh, absolutely. It was a needed and necessary save. Protopis had to get it right. And that's not, a knuckle is so difficult to judge, and she does such a good job of holding her position until it kind of swerves at the end.
Third corner for Duke. Piper sends it deep. Headed back in. And that time Protopis on top of it. Duke, though, presenting a couple more chances here in the last 5 minutes. On the Katie Groff header.
And it's a good header. It is. It's down at the corner. It's a save that Protopis has to make. But where the goals are on that particular play is that when it's headed back across the 6.
Find that secondary player to knock it in. Keep in mind, in Duke's 2 home losses this year, they actually have scored and jumped ahead 1-0. Otherwise, a perfect home slate. NC State, though, hanging tough here on the road, looking to earn points in back-to-back matches. A draw at Wake on Thursday, in a match with 17 combined fouls and 8 cards. It was very physical. Here's Graham. Ooh, that ball gets a filthy touch for Duke. NC State wins it back. Chisholm through traffic. They'll be forced to send it out.
The ball running up onto Chisholm, and any port in a storm after that. Hey, I've gotten away with a bit of a mistake with Rader right behind me.
Here's Piper in space, out wide. Sanasheva's pass is tipped. And a good win on the ball there for Mia Vaughn. Dribbling through 2. And the lefty sends it short, looking for Joseph. Rollers like bubble gum on the side of your shoe. You just can't get it away from you if you're Jamise Joseph tonight.
Where Duke is winning is getting that possession back quickly. They're sending numbers 2 and 3 at the ball winner. and they're not allowing for that quick strike.
And then State will concede it right back to Duke, and that pressure keeps mounting. What a moment for Olivia Protopis, who stepped right into the starting role. That was an injury on August 31st to Echezarreta. She's out for the year, the starting goalkeeper. So it's been Protopis' duties here in September. A Louisville transfer that Tim Santoro targeted out of high school, but couldn't even get an offer to her. She'd already committed to the Cardinal. Kind of that redeeming second chance now in her junior year. State wins back possession. Here's Holt. Nice touch through to Vaughn. Plays it forward, Kawagishi. And Galway's speed comes out of nowhere to take that one away.
Kawagishi, a fantastic run out of the midfield. State hasn't gotten forward a lot, but she's made a couple of fantastic runs tonight.
We'll see Jamise Joseph take a breather here for the last 4 minutes. As NC State heads deeper to its bench, that's Sienna Kim coming in. And Brianna Holt, so both Holt sisters are now entering the match. There's Kim, number 29. Kim looks to win possession and could not, so Duke quickly with the goal kick. Is that what the idea of keeping Joseph in the next 45 in the second half, giving her a breather here?
She's done a lot, and really, whenever she's gotten the ball, it's been the most dangerous State has looked. With one possible exception of a run from Alexis Strickland, I don't see Duke making another mistake with 3 minutes left to go in the half. So I may bring on another defender just to get us to halftime 0-0.
Raider earns possession back for Duke. Blue Devils have 8 shots, but 3 on target. Graham evaluates. There's Piper in space. Piper plays it forward. That was more of a pass than a shot, but NC State corrals it. You can see Piper trying to direct that perfect through ball. I don't know if Duke saw it, and now State can clear.
Protopis still definitive off of her line, and you love to see when a goalie, right or wrong, is just decisive, and that's something Protopis excels at.
There was a lot of confidence in Protopis even in the preseason, but Echezarreta was a 3-year starter, 53 career starts. And goes down at the end of August, and it's all been Protopis' show. Conceded a late goal when NC State was down a player after a red card, so did her best in that 1-1 draw. As Kawagishi sends it out.
That's not one I thought was intrinsically savable. So I'm not going to put that on Protopis. Down a player, you're going to get shots. The fact that they held on for a point on the road, I think is fantastic.
Protopis, bobbles, and then recovers right at the feet of Endow, who couldn't put a shot on target.
Fearlessly off her line. Look, a fantastic cross. Fearlessly off the line, you gotta come up clean with that. A bit of luck, but hey, if you're Protopis, sometimes you make your own luck. Fearless off the line. If the ball falls to me, okay, so be it.
Now in the final minute and a half, Paul Robinson does not earn the foul. That goes out of play. Duke throw. First half where you can tell NC State's intentions, playing back, absorbing the pressure. Duke looking to apply some shots on target here.
What State has done exceptionally well is hold their shape, hold their form. They haven't gotten bent out. I told you before the matchup that Duke was like somebody who's really good at origami. They start with the NC State's defense. The next thing you know, you're bent into something you barely recognize, but State's been very strong tonight.
And they've won the ball in some tight spaces. Here's Holt running away from pressure. Final 45 seconds. And that might be the last run of play for the Wolfpack.
If you are State and you are moving forward and you're starting to get numbers there, you can't be careless with the ball.
2 big runs from Jamise Joseph, but no shots on target for NC State. Duke with 3. And has kept the appetizer queen, Protopis, busy. Owaith. Here's Piper with 15 seconds. A turn by Raider. Plays it out wide with 10. Goldwaith with 7. Kim knocks it loose. There's a shot at the gun. That will not go on target. So NC State holds this match tight, 0-0 through 45.
And it felt like the right result so far. Duke hasn't done anything to unlock State. State hasn't done anything to counterattack Duke. Through 45, nobody's really put themselves at risk.
So far, the 3 shots on target, the difference for Duke in this 40th all-time meeting, 0-0, which makes me think we're in for an entertaining second half.
Though there are goals in this matchup. There have to be goals in this matchup. Neither team can really settle for a tie here.
Here we are, week 2 in the ACC play. We'll come back for the next 45. NC State and Duke knotted up, 0-0. We'll break this thing down when we return. What a fun night in Durham for ACC soccer. Welcome back to Durham. Here at halftime, the Duke Blue Devils are led by a dynamic scoring duo here in the ACC. It starts up top with Kat Rader, 5 goals this year, making things happen for Duke. And then on the backside, Karina Laguirre has assisted on a ton of the action for Kat. How do these two work so well together? We're going to dive into the footage and find that answer.
Laguirre's vision is otherworldly, even when she's not directly linking up with Rader. Look outside all day for Piper to run. She's got a lot of green grass in front of her. And Laguirre's pinpoint perfect with her pass. And Rader doing what she does best on the back post. That's raiding in for goal. Big finish off the head. This is brilliant, intricate passing. 1-2 touch. Laguirre looks up, sees Rader with all day in front of her, and it just requires a perfect through ball. And Laguirre, pinpoint perfect again.
This was at the start of ACC play. What a finish there by Rader. Those two are finding each other all season long.
And it has been all season long. Laguirre's vision is otherworldly. It really is. She sees the entire pitch at a whole different level. That's a fantastic finish off the right foot, cutting inside. Raiders' ability to find just a yard of space. This finish is sublime and a little bit ostentatious, and I love that about it.
And that was in the season opener, man. Raider bend that thing in beautifully into the upper right. That's what makes Duke special right here. Raider and Laguerre, and think about that. Not only the assist, but getting Cat involved. These two are special together. We're going to find out if they can keep this thing going in the second half. Duke leading on those two fantastic women. And we'll be back with Durham with more for the second half here on ACC Network Extra. All knotted up at halftime. Anytime Duke at NC State meet, it is competitive, it is gritty, tough. And we've seen a couple of chances for Duke, but not much coming on the scorecard so far. 0-0 in these first 45. Around the ACC, though, it's been a crazy day for women's soccer. We'll touch on FSU UNC in a second. But Wake Forest with a nice ranked win, and then Virginia Tech taking care of business.
The Wake Forest win is fantastic for NC State. This is not a Wake Forest program that's honestly middle of the conference. They're not. They're up there towards that top six, I think. I think that it's just a couple of results. NC State might find themselves in this conversation.
Pitt doing a nice job earning the draw against Notre Dame, because currently Florida State, UNC, Notre Dame, and Duke are the four ranked teams, with Virginia right at the edge there that can really do some damage. And anytime you get on a run, like if you're Miami and you're 2-1 now in the league, that's impressive, beating Louisville today. And the end of that UNC FSU match, though, so many goals back and forth, and then Florida State with the last second corner to tie it. That is a high quality college soccer match.
That was bananas. It was all the tropical fruit you can think of. Whatever means wild, it was that. I mean, if you are a neutral fan of soccer, it's an amazing matchup to watch. If you have any rooting interest, I have to imagine it was nightmarish.
Because UNC dominated the first half, then they got ahead, Florida State tied it again, then it was 3-2, and it gives you a sense here 2 weeks into ACC play that this thing's going to be nuts. Because in the history of the College Cup, there have, of course, been North Carolina's dominance with double-figure national titles. Here, though, Florida State, UNC, anytime you think of these two programs, Anson Dorrance and what Brian Penske's now doing at Florida State, they are elite college soccer programs.
Really are, and you're starting to see other programs being mentioned in the top 10 routinely. Clemson looks an absolute terror to play against this year. They're fantastic. Virginia is absolutely tough to play against. Duke is a nightmare to play against. You're going to have to press them all day, and maybe you're going to come out with a loss. Maybe you're going to come out with a tie. If you're lucky, maybe a win, but probably not. They're too consistent.
4 top 10 teams in the ACC. This thing is fun. Right now, though, we have a 0-0 draw, breaking things down in the second half from Durham when we come back.
Take him, Mia! Thank you. I'll let you. Take him, Mia! Thank you. I'll let you. Get the extra over there. Wow. What?
Low scoring first half. However, both NC State and Duke, they've committed a ton of bodies to slowing down the opposing clubs. I love this segment. This is called Matt Draws Numbers for us on the screen. Because, Matt, both these teams have committed numbers defensively.
They really have, and if you're wondering why it's still 0-0, it's because both teams are defending at such a high level right here. Oh, where's Duke supposed to go? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and call it 5 with Kalagishi, who's also tracking back. Yet still, somehow, Duke finding a way. This ball through is just sublime.
8-ball corner pocket there as a result of the chance. And then anytime Jamise Joseph gets the ball.
Listen, you've got to have him back. I said earlier, it's not 4, you need the 5th, and here comes the 5th right there. And still gets a chance out of it.
Because Jamise Joseph is so dangerous.
Look at that step over as if it's nothing. Eyes up.
And still creates a shot off this.
And it took everything to not give up a corner. It was 5 plus the goalie on 1, nearly a corner.
Because in this first half, that was maybe the best chance for NC State. Duke with 3 shots on target late off a couple of those corner kicks. The Wolfpack, though, are comfortable playing in this style of game.
And Duke really didn't get into any significantly dangerous places. It was good last-ditch defending on the play we watched. I think the chance of the game goes to Duke. It was a long shot. Honestly, for me, the knuckleball that went away, and it required a top-drawer save from Potapis.
And with the schedule coming up for Duke, fresh off the loss Thursday, I mean, look at this. Number 22, Virginia, one of the best teams in North Carolina, and then Clemson. If Duke cannot bounce back tonight, it's a difficult slate the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and what you can't see is just beyond that is Arsenal. It is a difficult lineup coming up, and honestly, if I threw that in there, you wouldn't notice because it is so difficult through the next 4.
That's the challenge of the ACC. We noted the 5 top 10 teams, and there's plenty more just outside the top 25. Robbie Church knows how to win, and he knows how important it is earning a point tonight, whether it be 3 or 1.
I think if you're Duke and you're at home, I think you got to push for the goal. I think you have to push for the 3. I think you got to start considering sending your 6 forward, keeping that pressure on a bit more, trying to win that second ball, and really ratchet down against the state defense.
Duke with a win tonight would move back into 4th in the standings. NC State with a win all of a sudden changes their season. They're right back in the tournament.
They really are, and they're looking at, okay, point here, 3 there. This is not a team that's that far away. It's really not. It's one good result, and that confidence that comes from that good result. Was that the Wake Forest tie? I think they need the win, and I think that this may be a chance.
Because NC State has number 1 North Carolina coming up next Saturday for an alumni weekend. That's a busy back-to-back stretch before heading to Virginia Tech.
Can you imagine what North Carolina's alumni weekend looks like? It's just all ex-women's national team players.
It's bonkers.
I'm sure, but the beauty is that culture is now being spread around the triangle. You're seeing NC State have that greatness. You're seeing Duke with 3 Sweet 16s in the last 6 years.
And added a couple of Elite 8 appearances for Duke. They've been right up knocking on the door.
So you're starting to see those programs really digging their heels in and moving forward into a territory that was, at one point, fighting for second. Now it's fighting for that top spot. Florida State has made some inroads into that.
Which, fittingly, the road ends in Cary for the College Cup of the Final Four. So it is all hyper-local tonight.
I love seeing the flourishing of the red and the deep blue. It's good for the game.
It's also good for those color fans out there. Love a good color rush matchup. NC State in the reds, Duke in the blues. All even, no scoring so far. Leah Hall Robinson playing a bit forward to start this second half and gives it away, but we have a foul away from the ball.
Looked like it was blown dead, just slow to get up is Woner. And it'll have to be a dropped ball.
And Woner took one right off the stomach there. Kind of caught her off guard, lost her breath.
Oh, just Woner and Rader, the collision into each other. Woner coming off the worst. It'll be a dropped ball for Duke.
Yeah, Duke had possession there, great point. Robbie Church noted against Notre Dame, so much first half possession, but really struggled to maintain the ball in the second. This is a good start though as Watkins gets the touch. Weber plays it forward to Laguerre. Duke without tonight, Bailey Brewster and Emily Royston on the back line. So who will fill that void in the midfield?
They are tightly bunched. There's not much width being applied to the NC State defense, at least through the first 90 seconds or so.
And Leah Hall Robinson, she's a truck. You get possession on her, and it's hard to win that ball back. We've seen it a couple of times. Tremendous defending.
There's fine.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not up to me tonight. That's not a task that I would relish.
That's a fourth-year senior who's been around the field, called a weapon in the eyes of Tim Santoro.
Coach and I agree on that for sure.
Kawagishi plays it long. Chico wins the header. Well, that's kept in. Nice job by Watkins. Kawagishi holds her footing. And the joust, if you will, is won by Olu at NC State.
And Kawagishi and Olu combining to really do a good job of making that midfield almost like a mud bug. Nobody's really running through it.
There's some space for Laguerre. He has multiple assists, and Cat Raider's been her key target this year. Raider sitting right in the middle of the box, waiting for one. Piper. No runs for Duke, though, off the ball. 1v1. Holt defensively. And that one wide for the goal kick.
The numbers were there. They had 4 in the box. Just need, and it's, I say it like it's easy. I say it like wrapping your foot around the outside of the ball and curling that back across the 6 is an easy thing to do when you're being pressured by a college-level athlete and the ball's running away from you. It's not an easy thing to do, but that's what was required.
And NC State held firm defensively at Wake Forest. They were outshot, but found a way to escape with a 1-1 draw. Had the lead late. And they're playing tonight without Hannah Jabril, a critical attacking midfielder who accumulated a couple of yellows.
And it was a match where everybody accumulated a few yellows.
13 cards in that match. A little different story tonight. Just what, 3 fouls? Very well played.
I was going to say 2 or 3. I was going to say it's crazy that I've lost track of them just because there's so few that I haven't really started to write them down.
Credit to Daniel Shank Moreno for managing this match. Because you know when NC State and Duke meet, it is a little fury at times.
And we've seen the start of the second half. There's been a little bit more in the challenges, a little bit more into the tackles.
Coming forward is Sanasheva. Yeah, only 2 combined fouls. In fact, my math was wrong. Good call there by the crew. Let's hope it stays that way for the fun of the game tonight.
Well, for somebody who excels at counting like I do, I'll let you down there. I'm sorry, Evan.
It's all good. Alongside Matt Stradley, I'm EvanBudrovich, NC State, playing right back against its own 8-yard line. And now Duke with the interception. Here's Chico. Watkins. Let's see if Duke looks to shift to their side of the field. Plays that one wide.
Here comes the overload. Look at the outside run.
Piper. Kawagishi there. Dangerous. Back now on shooting target. Chance! Over the top. Clean look for Maggie Graham.
It's a good step up, and you really want to put your foot through it from that distance. Good touch to get it out from underneath. And just an eyelash under it, isn't it? Always rising up from that distance and with that power.
Maggie Graham has a game winner this year, so the pressure is on now for Duke. Scoring's been a bit of an issue in the eyes of Robbie Church. Need more balance outside of Cat Raider. Here's Fernando Soto. Like a mosquito in the house in the spring. She just keeps coming. Makes life difficult. Thank goodness we're in the fall now, and the bugs have finally gone to rest.
I was honestly just thinking how glad I was that we aren't with the mosquitoes tonight.
This is the first weekend in fall, and you kind of feel the weather changing quickly. The sun, a little bit darker here on these night matches, has that postseason feel to it all of a sudden.
The turf here at Koskinen Stadium is absolutely flawless. It is a gorgeous grass turf.
With multiple inches of rain over the weekend. Big rainstorm yesterday. Good news, nothing major. That one results in a goal kick. This was the style of match we saw from NC State 2 years ago, and of course that was back when overtime was a factor in regulation. Wolfpack won it with a Jamise Joseph goal in the 110th minute.
And unless we've going to see a reversion to where we were in history, that's something State will always have over Duke. I remember that one in double overtime.
7 years ago. Robbie Church has only lost once, and a couple of draws mixed into NC State. Well, the Wolfpack are fighting hard to try to earn a point tonight.
I was going to say, given the record of Church with just a couple of ties and the one loss, I think that you're okay with that as being like the argument back. Is, oh yeah, that one time, got you, okay.
You see that record for Robbie Church, just fantastic. Searching for win 293 tonight. He's now in the top 60 of all-time winningest coaches in college soccer. There's plenty more in his tenure. He's not slowing down anytime soon. Watkins through 2, and Hall Robinson shields her off. Earning a throw for Duke. Duke playing a little quicker on the front foot here. Ball centered in. Lynch turns.
Ooh, that
on
was
it,
it.
Raider.
That was such a good look from Lynch and just a bit too far forward. But for Lynch, what a job to hold it up. A nice pass in. Look, standing strong, able to bring it down. Just gets a glance up, and it's not too far off Raider on the run. It's been a good 7 minutes. It feels like Duke getting closer.
Look at Duke now pushing the pace after winning the foul. Roller, who gets the spot start at defender. Now a centering ball in over the head of Raider. Watkins. Hall Robinson, what a touch. Just took that away. Strickland weaves and loses it. Laguerre. Lynch, I think she slipped. Devin gets back up, and State wants to run with Joseph. That pass, though, will go out of play. That may be the opportunity for NC State tonight on a long counter.
And that was Groff with fantastic cover. If Duke is going to get numbers for it, I think they really have to start considering it. They've got to pull this State defense apart, and it's going to be runs from the midfield and overloads on the wide sections. But gosh, you've got to have trust in your center backs to have that pass covered.
NC State conceding just 3 shots tonight. They have made matters difficult. Here's a nice over ball for Piper. Duke wins it back. Wow, slide tackle there by Strickland. Leading goal scorer for NC State. She has 3. A 2-0 loss to Pitt in league play and a 1-1 draw to Wake Forest. That's been the story for NC State. Now looking for a positive result. Wow, Joseph went up high there. Advantage for Duke. Chip ball in for Raider, who charges. And Protopis wisely comes out. I thought Protopis was best served before the main course, but Protopis is stepping up tonight for NC State.
I mentioned it in the first half, and I stand by it. I think she's at her best simply because she is so quickly decisive. If she's coming off of her line, she goes immediately. She's rarely caught in between.
And that's why NC State so much confidence with Etcherzaretta out for the year. Number 2 goalkeeper, Louisville transfer, has been asked to do a lot tonight. Duke, meanwhile, quiet night for Leah Freeman. That's the good news for Duke. Not many shots or possession on target.
She hasn't had a save all night. She's got the best spot on the pitch to watch this matchup, though.
Here in week 2 of the ACC, Florida State, Carolina, and Notre Dame all with 7 points. Right now Duke with 3 and NC State with 1, so some critical points on the line. As Lynch gets knocked into by Soto, who wins possession. Joseph plays it to her. Wow, Soto wants a foul here, won't get it. Duke with the numbers. Laguerre keeps possession, plays it through. Lynch back to her, a bit wide. And Holt has to fire it away. Soto gets back to her feet. Now numbers here for State. Oh, couldn't hang on to possession though. That was Woner.
And it's just swept up, but that's the second time that Devin Lynch has been a part of a good 1-2 combination and just put it too far forward.
Watkins against a stonewall line of defense. Gives it away. Olu. Duke wins it back and keeps it in. Nice job by Chico. Options here for Graham. Piper plays it wide. Holt defensively for NC State. Shields off the run. Graham. Good touch, Laguerre. Here's a ball in. Weber clears it. Now Duke maintaining possession and opportunity. Another ball for Rader over her head. Played down Lynch, who missed it. Oh, that was promising. Possession mounting now for Duke. How does that play a factor here for the Blue Devils?
Especially when they're making good use of it like they have been over the previous 13 minutes. They've really been pushing the state defense and back line around. Thus far, really not too many dangerous spots.
And we have a foul here on Holt, who tripped up Sanasheva. That creates an interesting free kick.
State not happy with the call. Take another look. It's tough to be mad at that. When you come in on the top of a foot, you're going to get a flag and you're going to get a whistle. I like the no card. I don't think it was intentional going after the ball.
And only the third foul of this match, so my math is finally right.
You nailed it.
It just took us the first 50 minutes plus.
It was just that crystal ball of yours.
Let's see if Duke can be clinical in these chances. That's Devin Lynch. Lynch delivers. Header over the target. Wow, what a moment for Maggie Graham.
And Graham had just about a free header, didn't she? Little challenge up front. It doesn't come off clean.
Did everything right. That reaction tells the story, doesn't it?
And you're talking about fractions of an inch from burying that in the top corner to watching it go helplessly over the top bar.
Well, not a shot on target. Maybe Duke's best chance to score tonight. The Blue Devils continuing to mount numbers. Piper comes forward. That's, whoa. Uh-oh.
It was a cross right off of the head, and
I think Soto took that right off the noggin. The training staff being asked to come on.
And that's good. I like this immediately blowing it dead, because at the end of the day, athlete safety's got to be paramount. And I think that's one thing that this official has done spot on, along with the only 3 foul calls. It's been a really clean game by both teams. But
there's Caroline Fleming, the athletic trainer, coming on.
You've got the 2 times that player safety was in question. It's an immediate stop of the game. Let's tend to our athletes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that ball caught Soto, which wasn't expecting it, right off the head.
And with the power off of Piper's cross, that's not a thing to be taken lightly. It's unpleasant at best, and it's one of the reasons you stop it. You want to check on it. It could be a concussion. It could be a cut. So that's why the trainer's out there, to make sure of the safety of the athlete.
Well, we have a moment to reflect. NC State, in the midst of a busy schedule, they will host #1 team in the country, North Carolina, on Saturday. That's right here in Raleigh. So talk about a quick turnaround from playing a number 16 ranked team. You do get the week to prepare, but Anson Dorrance and crew coming to town hungry for a win after today's draw.
And that's never an easy task, but one thing I do know about NC State and UNC is you're going to get the best version of both of those teams when they go at each other. And I would say the same thing for this NC State and this Duke program. I think we're seeing an NC State team that's evolved from even their Thursday showing.
Great news. There's Fernanda Soto back on her feet. Didn't even see that ball coming, and then it hits her right in the face. So we'll definitely check on a few things with the athletic training staff. So now members of her team will come over and give Fernanda a quick word, including Annika Wohner there. Head athletic trainer is Caroline Fleming, helping out.
And Soto's tough. So when Soto was on the ground, I went, that's something for sure, because that is one tough athlete.
And you see NC State, they'll bring in Mia Vaughn here as an injury substitution. I certainly hope Soto's okay, especially when it comes to concussions and things of that nature. Sometimes those are injuries that kind of come up and surprise you. So good news that she's back on her feet.
And I think you and I both, having worked around sports for as long as we have, we know that those trainers aren't going to put an athlete back out unless they're positive that they're in the right state from a health perspective to do so.
Yeah, they will take Soto down in for some testing. The State will play this back to Duke. Final 31 minutes. Duke, in its history under Robbie Church, has dominated this series, but in the last two meetings here in Durham, much closer. A win for NC State, and right now in line for a draw. As Weber blasts one away. Joseph on the run. Joseph nearly won it. Good turn by Roller. That's a freshman guarding an all-conference senior.
And doing a great job of it, really, honestly. Roller, who has been right there with Joseph the entire night. That's not an assignment I think you would relish unless you're very confident in your ability to defend.
And that's with two starters, Brewster and Royson out, and they're two central defenders, not just ancillary pieces. So now Chico in space. Chico's a little Tasmanian devil out there. Can make things happen. Here's a ball in. Weber wins it. Laguerre, the tip, and the clearance by Olu. Oh, here's Joseph in space. Looks to play it to herself. That's a difficult ask. We have an offside here for Duke. So now you sit less than 30 minutes to go, and the comfort level for NC State rises. Maybe the pressure for Duke begins to mount. How are the emotions? How do you think these teams are handling this moment?
Honestly, if you're Duke, you're starting to see more ground given. You're starting to get more chances. You've gotten 2 touches in a dangerous area. Nothing came of them, but it was reminiscent of that first goal against Boston College. If you're State, you've got to be proud. It's been 60 fantastic minutes of defending. You haven't gotten a chance off yet, but boy, as those Duke legs start to get tired from pushing farther and farther forward, maybe there's still one in it for you.
There's a foul on NC State. Wolfpack had a lead late, only our 4th foul of the match, crazy enough. Took a lead in the final 15, but then a red card, 2 yellows, led to a second chance, and Wake tied it up late in the closing 10. That's now been the 5th match this year. NC State's conceded a goal in the final 10 minutes.
And they've not really been out of any of their matches. I think the Pitt match was the closest one.
Here's a loose scrum that Strickland comes out with. To your point, Matt, only twice the Wolfpack have lost by 2 or more every match within 1 goal, so the chances have been there. Laguerre now in space, out to Rader. Rader plays it wide in a little too much.
The idea is right. That's the play. That's the smart play. That's the right play. The overlapping run was there. A little too much. Maybe next time it's not.
So for NC State, Mary Frances Sims will re-enter for the 2nd time. And Kawagishi will take the breather. Woner comes out. I expect them to re-enter at some point.
Kawagishi's been doing a lot of defending through the middle of the pitch. And on the couple of occasions when NC State's had it and moved forward, she's made some bombing runs.
That's a little ambitious there from Rader. And you do wonder now, with opportunities and chances, how much does that speed up the internal clock of Duke?
I get, and Rader has the ability to put one on target from there. But
we saw it this year against West Virginia. That ball was lovely.
It was a gorgeous ball, but to beat Protopis, it's going to have to be something some world-class strike. I think Duke is best served not letting that pressure valve release and continuing to pressure and possess and push forward and occupy those wide areas and try to find the 3 versus 2 overloads.
Duke has 14 shots to just 3 for NC State, but only 3 on target. We did see about 10 minutes prior a string of chances for Duke, but nothing gets past Protopis. And now Duke looking to swing it back and forth and change the perspective. Wow, Hall Robinson, good run. Up ahead. She now comes forward from her defensive position. Wolfpack comfortable playing back. Long ball there from Chisholm. Robinson into space. Let's see if Joseph can make a run of this. Defensively, it's Groff. Uh-oh, risky turnover here. Strickland. Now Sims. A running Olu. Olu turns. Can't get a shot on. Oh, we have a trip. We have play continue. Piper bangs bodies. Getting physical here, and Duke gives it away. How about DeBorlo into the box? Cleared out. Maybe NC State's best chance of this second half.
It's certainly been the most dangerous they've looked. And
they've had a lot of bodies forward, too.
They got numbers forward quick. I referred to them as a spring in the first half, and that's the first time we've seen them properly get that spring action.
And that recoil when you bang your door into a spring, you can hear that thing for miles.
Any mechanic will tell you there's nothing scarier than a loaded spring.
And that's the danger of Tim Santoro's club. Right now, lives are on the line. Just 1 point through the first 2 matches. They want to earn a result tonight. As Chico comes forward, gives it away to Strickland. Here's Joseph. Look at Joseph turn. 1v4. Joseph sprints in. Gets to the corner. Joseph earns the corner kick. That is fantastic.
When you said it was 1v4, I thought, well, where's the 5th? You need the 5th.
I plead the 5th when Jamise Joseph gets on the move.
It is. She is a wizard with the ball at her feet. Take a look.
And Roller's been with her step for step, but that is a hard assignment.
Made it look easy, but the turn to put Groff off of and out of the play was just absolutely brilliant.
Here's Alexis Strickland to provide the corner. Sophomore out of Raleigh, homegrown kid. This is her 81st career match. This is NC State's first corner and maybe its best opportunity. Strickland towards the 18. Olu heads it in, but Hall Robinson had to come back. And Duke quickly clears.
It wasn't a corner that seemed threatening in the moment. Curling, a bit too much curl on it.
As Piper concedes the throw. 2 years ago in this same park, NC State forced extra time and pulled it out 2-1. It was Strickland who was a part of that tying effort to send us into extras, and then Joseph with the winner on that lovely ball. She ran away from the defense. And this one quickly cleared. Here's Kat Rader looking to run, and Weber heads it loose. Back to the keeper. Rader on the chase. Holt pressured. Olu gives it away. Now Duke plays it out wide. That's sent out by Sanasheva and a bit too far. And she's a bit slow to get up. That'll be subbed out here. That's Mia Minestrella checking in. Mia, who made her first career start tonight, as the Daily Breeze Player of the Year out in Los Angeles at Redondo Union. Home of Rat Beach, right after Torrance Beach.
Oh.
You'd think they call it Redondo Beach, but
it would make sense.
The cool folks in California call it right after Torrance.
Huh.
Sanasheva is still a bit slow, being evaluated by the training staff. I think Duke wants one more substitute here. Okay, so Goldwaith will come in. And Minestrella will exit. Okay, I think Minestrella may check in a minute here.
Mm-hmm.
Nearing the final 23 minutes. Duke has mounted the majority of chances, but nothing to show for it. Chico in space. Duke has committed defenders forward here in the second half, looking to generate chances. Roller sends it wide. Piper plays it middle. Graham. Nice ball in space to Watkins. 1v1 with Strickland. Watkins. A bit long and a goal kick.
It's a good ball into a good area.
Go ahead and get her off.
But Duke hasn't really been attacking that far post with that run tonight.
And now we'll see the substitute. Estrella comes in. Watkins will give way as Devin Lynch exits. And we know that Kawagishi expecting to return. Looks like she'll check in here with 22 minutes to go. She'll come in on the next whistle. Here's Watkins dribbling through. Nice move on the hezzy. Centers. Oh, what a header by Holt. Raider misses. Loose. Now Graham. She has a chance here. Head of the way. Back on the ground, Laguerre. She goes for goal. And the keeper is there. Protopis. Now hold your breath when that shot came firing in.
It was struck well, but Protopis saw it the whole way.
Look at Watkins push forward numbers. Chico to her left. A through ball here. Minestrella plays it back in. These last 2 minutes, tick, tack, tick. And some good passing here from Duke.
It's a punt.
Just a bit too far for Minestrella to get onto the end of it.
Joseph, one of the most threatening 1v1 players in the ACC. She makes a run wide.
You can go ahead and say country and that'd be fine.
I take your point and I raise you, sir. Sims lays it off to Vaughn. Vaughn looks to penetrate and earns the free kick.
We'll be back at the spot of the first challenge. I get it. The official tried to play advantage. It just never came about. Right there is the foul. It's a good callback, is what I'm saying. Is she never really got back onto the ball before Duke took over.
So Graham on that first touch is called for the foul, which sets up NC State now with a nice opportunity as we hit the 20-minute mark.
Probably a bit too far to go direct.
And you see Joseph all by herself on the far right. Chico quickly realizes it and heads out that way as Santoro operates this free kick.
Oh, that's not enough. If you're Duke, you have to have the team huddle around.
What a moment for NC State. Holt chips it in. Header down. Olu out wide. Vaughn rolls it. Deflected. And Olu plays it back to Holt. Joseph on an island. Oh, that pass was a bit heavy. And Joseph couldn't get to it, but the idea is brilliant.
Really was, because I think Duke defenders were like me, like, when is Joseph getting involved? And that creates a lot of anxiety.
Janice Joseph, who has scored 23 times in her tenure, she is dangerous from these spots. Olu now in space. Nice ball. Oh, here's a good run by NC State, earning the corner kick. What a turn by Sims to earn that corner.
And just a quick burst of speed and beats Chico down the right side of NC State's offense. Good shoulder challenge, get a good little kick in. That ball was never meant to be a cross. That was meant to be a corner winner.
So Olu will take the breather here for NC State, and Woner returns. She's a fantastic scorer for the Wolfpack, 10 career goals. See Strickland exit as well, and now Kawagishi will operate this corner.
Be an outswinging right-footed delivery, and Olu, I thought, was fantastic over the previous 3 minutes.
Kawagishi, goalkeeper rises. Wow, Freeman caught it on the bounce. That's risky business.
Yeah, you'd prefer Freeman come up with it cleanly, but if you're gonna spill it right in front of yourself so you can scoop it right back up.
There was a battle early in the year between Duffy and Freeman, but Freeman has earned her stripes with the 3 shutouts. Big-time transfer out of Oregon has stepped up. Speaking of Oregon stepping up yesterday, how about the football team showing Deion Sanders' crew a little bit of a lesson about top 10 programs. There's the offside flag.
Menestrella spotted in an offside position. I'll be honest, I thought she was on when the ball was played. When it clipped off, if it was off of a Duke player, then fair enough, offside, but I thought it clipped off a State player.
Not much contention there from Duke as we hit the final 17 minutes.
What told me that she thought she was off was the way she took the ball.
The shoulders start shrugging. You slowly walk to the ball. Great point.
Are you sure you want me to touch this one? Okay.
Well, that was a bad kick from NC State.
But if you're going to make a mistake, making a mistake way down there. Make Duke build from the back.
Here's Sims, who's been creative in moments. Kawagishi has been a ball magnet, gets it back. Oh, Joseph. Look at that turn. Wow. This will go against NC State on the pull down by Joseph. She brought down Groff that time as both were tussling for space.
Smart, be smart. Come on. Come on. Relax. Let's go.
Yeah, watch that left hand.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I was going to say, I didn't see much in it, but good eyes of it.
That's the old friendly love tap between rivals here, Duke and NC State.
I have to say it's been extremely competitive, but extremely fair, there's a lot of sportsmanship we've seen tonight. And we've seen some fierce tackles, but fair challenges.
Dating back to Tim Santoro's days as the lead assistant at Wake Forest, a ton of respect between these two, a decade plus in the conference. Now Menestrella looks to play it forward. Weber absorbs that pressure. Ooh, Menestrella, that is out. Throw in for NC State. And now a substitution. Wolfpack will re-enter Fernandez Soto, which is great news. She was evaluated about 10 minutes prior for a ball off her noggin.
And she is the spark plug that drives this NC State, both defense and offense.
She has earned every step out there. If you track the mileage of these players, she's probably right up there, number 1. Kawagishi now wins the ball, and interesting, shoots it way out there, allowing NC State to bring numbers forward.
It's a bit of a pressure release valve, but I think Kawagishi's hoping to play a ball to get Joseph to run onto.
There's Jamise Joseph at the top for NC State. Wolfpack have kept her in check. Couple of nice dribbling displays, but no chances on target.
Look how compact from the back 4 to the top 2 this NC State team has stayed. It's so tough to play through them because they give you no space. It's like playing footy in a phone booth.
And that's the challenge. Tim Santoro's committed numbers defensively. An organized unit that earned a draw on Thursday. And you think back to the 17, now 18 goals surrendered. 6 of those have come in the final 10 minutes. Their defense for most of the stretches has been really good. Menestrella makes a turn. This one's deflected. And able to play it. There's the keeper.
Bit of a questionable giveaway from Sims. Not in a terrible spot. Certainly enough defense to get back.
Wow, Joseph won the header. Here's Borladeau in the middle. And Duke will politely play that free. Roller wins it. What an impressive start for Roller on the back line for Duke. Soto, her first touch since returning. Joseph dribbles. Joseph deflected. Anytime she has the ball, you get ready. Sims. We now hit the final 13 minutes. Right now, both teams in line for a point. NC State knows, however, with just 1 point on the tally, they'd love to get 3, and Duke wants to get back with the likes of Carolina and Florida State among the leaders in the ACC.
This is a conference you really can't let get away from you.
Top 6 qualify for the conference tournament. And if you're in that top 6, you have a great chance of hosting deep into the NCAA tournament. Here's Menestrella on the counter. Oh, big slide tackle.
Oh, she didn't get the ball.
And now we have a stoppage of play. Not a foul, just a stoppage.
I think Chisholm's a lucky girl. That's a slide tackle. I'd love to see a second view of that. I don't think that there was a play on the ball. And I could be wrong. Yeah, the ball changed direction on the first view. That's a fierce challenge.
Yep.
She did get a piece of it, absolutely.
And then lands awkwardly after hitting the leg of Chisholm.
It is a fantastic challenge by Taylor Chisholm, who has to get it right because that's a yellow. Easy.
Good news, Mia gets back to her feet. We'll see if Robbie Church will leave her out or make a quick sub in. This kind of becomes a quasi timeout break, if you will, with Grace Watkins double fisting the Gatorade bottles.
You have to stay hydrated.
Bobby Boucher would say the same, but he's a big H2O guy.
I'm still thinking about this challenge from Chisholm, and it could have been really tough for NC State because that Menestrella has on the ball is fantastic, and in behind, oh, that would have been a problem. Chisholm, that was fearless.
Thank you.
So Lynch will enter for Menestrella here. And the training staff will check out Mia. I think her night might be done with 12 minutes to go. So we'll see as Protapas sends this away. Clock continues to run. NC State has been in a ton of these matches. 4 draws this year. Not the case for Duke. Every match has ended with a win or loss. Joseph wants to turn. Joseph, like a gazelle, plays it forward. Soto sprints in. Wow, and the shielding effort by Piper might have saved a goal.
If Piper doesn't shield that, Freeman, that was a delayed decision. She's scampering back to her line. I don't think she sees the ball through from Jamise Joseph until maybe a couple of steps.
At least a shot on target for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul Robinson, who's played excellently tonight, wins it. Last touch by Duke.
Paul Robinson just shutting down the left side of the attack. And if she's not there, this has such a different look.
Now space for Woner. Look at this ball, Joseph. Oh, off the left foot, a bit strong. Now Joseph looks to win it back. She does. Can she earn the corner here? Weaves through one. We have a late collision. Advantage. Ball in. That shot, no. What a moment for Woner. NC State still with possession. Bodies everywhere. And now the referee stops play on the advantage.
That was slow to get to her feet. Maggie Graham, some last-minute defending, but what a game-saving job from Freeman, who came out, got huge.
I was shocked there was no offside on that chance for Woner, and she almost took advantage.
Holy.
What a moment for Freeman. Wow, that is a moment that Woner would love back.
Freeman did what you're taught to do, which is to get as big as you can, and try to get a piece of it. And I think the more impressive piece from Freeman was pushing it away from the immediate area and giving some time for that Duke defense to recover. And they needed more than just a moment. That was NC State's chance.
Tim Santoro knowing that he's been so close in these matchups before. Duke went a decade plus without scoring. Or sorry, NC State went a decade without scoring against Duke, earning the 2-1 win 2 years ago right here on this pitch. Now the Wolfpack will self-start. Paul Robinson plays it ahead. Bordelot into the corner. Bordelot wants a foul. Holds possession for NC State. Uh-oh, Paul Robinson gives it back. Let's see if Duke becomes more aggressive on the attacking foot. Lynch ahead to Goldwaith, right back to her. Piper. Piper centers to Kat Rader, who comes forward for it. Out wide to Watkins. Pass to Rader. And now NC State commits numbers back.
Look how Raiders dipped into sort of that link-up role, the midfield.
Here's a through ball. Piper sneaks through it, centers it in. Oh, deflection, Kawagishi missed it. Rader. Out wide, Watkins. Paul Robinson knocks it loose. Watkins wins it back. Collision in the box. No whistle. Referee deciding no penalty there. And Duke with the corner.
Take another look at it, but it felt right at live speed.
Nah, that'd be a hard one to call this late in the match.
It would be a brutal, especially considering, I think Chisholm gets it right again. That's the second time where it's essentially the game if she doesn't, and she does.
Lynch sends it in, headed high. Ooh, dangerous kick in the box. Still loose. Robinson plays it to Joseph. Duke sends it free. And that's a Duke throw off of the foot of Jamise Joseph. With now substitutions aplenty.
Minestrella back into the matchup.
Piper out. Strickland returns for NC State. And now Drazina, the Notre Dame transfer, re-enters for Duke. Here we go, 8.5 minutes to decide 3 points or 1. Rader attracting attention. Rader, a bit wide. A lot on that one. You can tell the balance that Kat Rader must have of being the prolific scorer, but also the creator for this offense.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough gig, but she's so talented. I think maybe the play is to continue the pressure again. Absolutely has the ability to hit those.
What a touch by Joseph. NC State earns the whistle. They can play this advantage quickly if they want, as Warner gets back up. And the Wolfpack will instead send numbers forward. Sitting on the back foot all night until the final 11 minutes, and a shot on target for Annika Warner.
Boy, Freeman didn't have to make a save for the first 80 minutes of the match.
We now stop the clock for the moment as things get settled. 40th all-time meeting, and as if it's a religious intervention, we are down to a testimonial finish. Weber, this is into the box. Headed loose. There's Joseph. Centers. That's way wide. Idealistic, but a bit off target there for Joseph.
That's tough to do on the left foot, isn't it? Just to, with a bounding ball that's moving slightly away from you, to lash your foot around the outside of it.
So Watkins exits. Piper returns for Duke. Both Robbie Church and Tim Santoro working the numbers with substitutions here in the second half. Now Piper in space. Rader, this is where she's dangerous. Nice ball through, chance for Duke, offside, offside. And Minestrella can't believe it.
In live action, it looked like she went a step early.
Here's your slow-mo action. Oh, just off.
I think the official got it right.
The assistant referee, Justin Howard. State wins possession. How about NC State going 15 years without a result here in Durham? They could get back-to-back results tonight. That results in a Duke throw. And Hoover back just a touch. A little urgency here for the Blue Devils. Final 6 minutes.
You're starting to see more and more numbers forward for the team in blue. And they've looked a bit dangerous the last couple of possessions.
Graham out wide to Drzina. Drzina centers. This is promising. Knocked down. Holt missed it. Loose. Graham again. Way off target. That's an ambitious shot from outside the 18.
And Graham, as a defensive end, you're going to try to crack those every now and then. But you got to make sure that you have to have your body positioned above the ball. You have to keep a better frame about it and drive through the ball.
Those are two wide shots for Maggie Graham, but she's taken opportunities. Duke with 18 shots, but only 4 on target. Rader wins the ball. Laguerre. Minestrella. Cleared by Weber. Was there a deflection there? No, it's Duke throw.
Come on, guys.
Duke quickly has it. Laguerre into the box. Good header down. Kawagishi. Here's Joseph. She can run. 1v3. Joseph chased. Enters the box and earns the whistle right outside the 18. And I mean right outside it.
Get him behind! Get him behind!
Looking back at it, I think...
Jamise says check the tape.
Yeah, I think Jamise...
And she just earned a yellow card for arguing the call.
I think other one goes to Chico for the denial of a good buildup.
Yeah, let me confirm that. You're right. It is the yellow card on Duke. My apologies. That's for the slide tackle. What a moment here for NC State. Final 5 minutes.
And I don't think it was a ton of contact.
We believe the head referee is confirming whether this was in the box or not.
Well, this will be an interesting.
So Daniel Shank Moreno with the VAR decision.
Just when you think you gotten away from it.
So this is a replay challenge. Very interesting here.
My favorite part of this is that about 12 kids descended trying to get a peek at it as well.
Chico on the tackle gets the yellow officially.
This is a game-defining call by the official. And if you have the ability to make it right, why not?
Oh my goodness, I can't tell. This will be a good angle. Oh yeah, the clip is outside the box.
Do you think
I think
Joseph,
that's where her feet get tripped up.
do you think Joseph's foot kind of extends out looking for contact?
So this is a new experimental rule this year. Whether penalty kicks can happen, whether cards can be issued. And at this point in the match, this is a very important replay.
And I get wanting the flow of the game to be right.
Now both coaches come in for the explanation.
Call on the field stands. It was outside the area. It's a yellow card to
Call on the field stands.
Field stands.
It felt like the right call in live action. Why not confirm it, which they did.
And both teams have had critical tackles right outside the box. I think this is the right call.
Inside!
This is probably our best look. Yeah,
Just clip that back heel.
Yeah, it's the clip of the back heel, and then Joseph makes contact with her own feet right on the line.
Good.
The gazelle of the ACC, Jamise Joseph, runs out of her boots there and earns a critical free kick.
This is such a dangerous spot. You'd like it just a little bit more central, perhaps, but there's plenty of goal to work with.
Final 4.5 minutes. Annika Wohner, who missed from point blank just 8 minutes prior. What does she have here?
I think she's going to the right of the wall, and she's going to try to dip it into that top corner.
Wohner! Wide. Just like you called it, partner. And a big miss there for NC State.
When you've got a right footer with the ability to bend it like she does, and she decides to go around it instead of over it and try to bring it back down. I think
that's where the front wall turns around and goes, oh boy, did that one miss? Is that one in?
You hear a lot of, but I think Freeman had it covered.
That was good on both sides there. Duke now with the free kick, they'll win possession. Can the Blue Devils mount numbers forward here and get a shot? Chico. You wonder, is NC State now content with earning the point? Things become interesting in the final 3 minutes.
I think on the road you'll take the point. I think at home you really want the 3.
Piper into the double. Piper is shielded off. There's Soto. She wants to earn the throw in, but that goes the other way to Duke.
It was a long way to try to marshal the ball out over the end line.
Lynch centers. Raider. Laguerre. Back to it. Good slide tackle. Olu still loose. How about this? Bodies on the floor. Lynch. Referee, let's play continue. Final 3 minutes here in Durham. Holt back to Olu. Oh, nutmegged her wide. Leah Hall Robinson looks to win it back. She does. Hall Robinson through the legs. And a throw in for NC State. And that clock continues to tick. Woner Woner lost track of the ball. She got hit hard. Now Pertapis just plays it out towards us. Clock is ticking here, nearing 2 minutes, and Woner is slow to get back up. Raider. Drazina. Olu gets hurt. And a foul on Duke.
I think it's the right call. It's not a popular call here in Koskinen Stadium, but
when that high cleat makes contact with the leg, it can get dangerous.
Just cause Olu's tough and can jog it off.
Remember, Woner is also a bit injured right now. She's looking to shake it off. Final 2 minutes, clock continues to tick. Chisholm. Duke heads it back in. Laguerre. Hall Robinson in the middle. Olu lost it. Minestrella. Let's see what Duke has cooking. Final 90 seconds. Roller. Wants Raider. Headed down. Duke gets it back. Graham out wide. Drazina into the box. Head of the way, Weber. Waning moments here for Duke on the front foot. Oh my gosh, so risky. And Duke back with it, final 60 seconds. Right now, each team slotted for 1 point. Playing it in. Weber wins the header. Here's Roller, the freshman. Roller considers. That's wide. Could be the final chance for Duke tonight. And this would seem NC State content with settling the clock here in the final 30 seconds.
This is a goal kick that's taken already 15 seconds to place. And if you're NC State, let it take another 10.
Chisholm. What could be the final chance for Duke? Drazina. Chico. Last 10 seconds. Loose ball. Piper on the attack. And Weber clears it out. NC State comes into Durham. Earns a hard-fought draw. Both teams escape in the scoreless final.
And given the balance of play, I feel like a point is fair. The best chance of the game falling NC State's way. Maybe it's they're supposed to feel a little hard done by, but I think NC State with a point coming into a top 20 team in Duke, that sounds fine.
NC State earns its second draw of the week. Think about this. Wolfpack hadn't earned a result in Durham in 10 years. And they come out with a win 2 years ago and a draw tonight. Duke now, they moved to 4 points, but left some points on the table the last two matches. For Matt Stradley and our talented crew, I'm EvanBudrovich. That was a fun performance despite the lack of goals. Kind of shows you in the ACC how hard it is to earn points. Duke gears up for number 1, UNC, NC State does the same. What a fun night when these triangle foes match up. 0-0 with plenty of chances. I'm EvanBudrovich saying good night from Durham. This is a presentation of ESPN.